There are traitors inside the Trump White House. As awful as that sounds, it's true. President Trump won an election just 5 months ago, saying, I want to take the tax cuts that I passed that created good economic growth, and I want to make them permanent. He said, I cut taxes on upper class, middle class, lower class. I want to take those cuts on all Americans, that lower rates, and make them permanent. The tax cut he put in doubled the per-child tax credit. It doubled the tax standard deduction. It expanded tax cuts for new investment, and it reduced tax rates for every single American who pays the income tax. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, said, no, we're going to reduce some taxes, maybe continue some of the Trump tax cuts because they were very powerful with the economy, but not for high-income people, not for people who work on Saturdays. We're going to raise taxes on the rich. Presidents held tough. The House and the Senate leadership, they want to make sure that Trump's tax cuts go completely through so they get made permanent. Trump, when he spoke to the entire nation, said, I want to have tax cuts for all Americans, the rate reductions for all Americans, make them permanent. Kamala Harris, when she campaigned, said, not for everybody. And these weasels in the basement of the White House somewhere who leaked to the newspapers that, the White House wants to do X, meaning they want to do X. They want to have a high top rate, a higher rate than China. Now, a lot of small businesses pay that rate, that individual rate, called subchapter S corporations or pass-throughs, but they're small businesses. They're not incorporated, but they're small businesses. And many Americans, almost half of Americans, work for a company like that. And if you raise taxes on them, you kill jobs. It's been done before. President cut taxes on those people, on small businesses, and on the workers of small businesses. These weasels in the White House want to go out and convince the world to raise taxes on working men and women in small businesses around the country. This needs to be stopped. We need to remind these bozos who work at the White House and are telling the press that they're going to betray Trump and betray Trump's election and do what Kamala Harris wanted. And the press, the establishment press, they love telling a story about how people in the White House staffers are against the president's position to protect his own tax cuts, to keep his word when he ran for office. I'm going to make these tax cuts permanent for everyone, he said. He was very clear. And yet these people in the White House are betraying the president, or trying to. But the House leadership doesn't want to raise taxes on anyone. And the Senate leadership doesn't want to raise taxes on anyone. So President Trump can put an end to this by telling these staffers to knock it off and to stop undermining his efforts. He might remind them what happened to George Herbert Walker Bush when he ran for office and said he wouldn't raise taxes. Remember, he said, read my lips, no new taxes. But when he got in, he had the same staffers, a guy named Darman. The spirit of Darman lives somehow in some of those offices, not in Trump, but in Trump's staff. Darman said, no, it's okay, you should raise taxes. And he did. That slowed the economy. It destroyed the Republicans in the next election, and Bush lost the presidency and the re-election to a nobody. On his tombstone, it says, liar, raise taxes. Should have read, won Cold War. There are people in the White House who don't care about President Trump's success or the job creation that Trump has done before and wants to do again. We need to protect the Trump tax cuts, all of them, make them permanent. If you want to help, go to ATR.org. That's Americans for Tax Reform, ATR.org. And you can find out how you can contact your congressman and senator and let them know you support Trump and the Trump tax cuts being made permanent.